So, one question that we at Spring Insight get from time to time is, hey, I've got multiple businesses. Do I really need multiple websites, or can I promote my multiple businesses or my multiple offerings just on one website? So, that's a great question, and one that my colleague Lisa and I decided we were going to chat about today. My name is Erika Dickstein with Spring Insight.
And I'm Lisa Hausch with Spring Insight.
Awesome. So, when I start to think about this question, contextualizing it, it's interesting. Even before we started this video, Lisa looked at the video plan and said, well, this is a little bit of a no-brainer, right? And I totally get that. I totally get that. But one of the things that we know from entrepreneurs is, hey, when at all possible, it would be great to have fewer websites, because who wants to go through the trouble of building a website? Who wants to promote multiple websites, right? So, whatever possible, you actually really do want to be able to have one website, but it's just not always possible. So that's what we're talking about today: is how do you decide when you actually really do need to have more than one website? So in my mind, there's three questions that you need to ask yourself. Question number one: is more than one business or more than one service?
So, yeah, if you're looking at um, your service offerings and your products or services that you're selling to your customers, do you have more than one brand? Are you trying to market to two different target audiences? We may get more into that in a minute, but the key thing is, what brand are you looking to promote under each under each website, and not convoluting and adding a whole bunch of brands and messaging in one.
Well, and confusing people, because if somebody is coming to your website for brand number one, but brand number two is at the top, how confusing will that be? Okay, so question number two: do your businesses or your service offerings serve the same audience?
For sure, that there's one thing when people are coming to your website, they're coming for a specific reason. So not only your target audience, but also the algorithms are all looking for one specific item or topic. And if you're messing that up by putting a bunch of different products or services onto one site, it'll confuse not only your customers but your search engine for sure.
Absolutely. And to me, when I start to think about this question of serving the same audience, there are certain industries where you are going to need a lot of things quickly, right? And so it makes sense. You can even do different services for the same audience. So, a really easy one for all of us to conceptualize this is the wedding industry. If I ask Lisa to marry me right now, and we decide that we're going to have a wedding together, there's a bunch of things now, a bunch of services that we are going to need to gather together for our wedding. I probably should have bought a ring beforehand. We're going to the venue. We're going to get entertainment for that venue. We're going to get a caterer. Within that, we're going to get a photographer, right? There's all kinds of services, and they're addressing that same audience. And so there, it really makes sense, even though there's a whole bunch of different services that are addressing the same audience, it's going to be a lot less confusing, because, I, as somebody who's planning a wedding, is going to go there. Um, and so question number three is, are these different services, so, okay, if the first one, or if question number two was, are they to the same audience? The next one is, are they different services, right? I'll
For
just start
sure.
telling us about that, Lisa.
Yeah, so for your services, I think the wedding analogy is fantastic, because if you're still the same target audience, you still need these same services for the wedding, which is
Hmm.
great. One of the things that I look at when you're thinking of your website, it's do you want to be the convenience store where you walk in and all the signs are in your face and product are everywhere and you're kind of confusing? You're trying to be everything to everybody at one particular time coming in, or a very specific niche website that you can really brand some and build some authority for that particular spot. And you could have the same target market with multiple verticals or things that you could sell to the same person because they're coming there for a particular reason. So it's kind of a difference. You want it nice and clean. I like to tease, and this will probably date me, but when Google and Yahoo came out, back in the day, right? And they were battling over people coming for a search engine. And a lot of people liked going to Yahoo because they had everything. Anything you ever want to think about was all on that main page when you walked in. But there's a whole other group that liked it very clean. I'm coming for one reason. I'm going to the Google site because there's not so much in my face. So you have to
Yeah.
decide what you're going to be and are you serving the same target audience with your site.
Right. And in the case of what are you offering, right? What are the services that you're offering? You're exactly right. You want to be strategic, you want to be very tactical, and you want to be very clear on this. And this is where you start to look at this question, bringing all this together. So, when do you need to have multiple sites versus when do you need to have one? The thing that you need to contextualize everything and every decision that you're making is what makes this the cleanest and best experience for the person who's coming to buy my service. So, what is making things easiest for them? So, going back to those questions, um, if you have if you have different businesses that go under different brands, well, right there, you need two different websites because how confusing is it if you go in and you're looking for, I don't know, Mary Maids, but you end up on the Wright Brothers Architects. Like, you're like, wait, what is happening? I have no idea. So right there, now all you're in two website land. And then the way that I have sort of think about it is when it comes to the audiences, you can offer the same service to different audiences with one website. I mean, obviously that's pretty straightforward. You can offer different services to the same audiences with one website. So that's what we discussed before, right? That's that wedding analogy. You can serve all kinds of different things. The Knot does a great job with this. But you can't offer different services to different audiences on the same website, right? If you're starting, you're an entrepreneur that does photography. For some reason, the photographers always have multiple jobs, right? You do photography and you're also a personal chef. Nope, you are not going to successfully be able to, or you will be much more successful by creating two websites for that organization.
Agreed.
That
Yeah,
make
all spot on. You're, yeah, it's really just identifying who you want to speak to and what do you want to sell them, and are there multiple things that you can sell them, and that
awesome.
determines whether or not you need one or two sites to do that, or multiple.
Lisa, thank you so much for chatting with me today about this. I
You.
think hopefully it will be helpful to people. And for everybody watching, thank you as well for joining us. If you found this video useful, I hope that you'll like it and I hope you'll also subscribe. We put out new content every single Tuesday to help you as a subject matter expert improve your presence online. And if we can be of assistance to you, not just by putting out fantastic content, but by chatting about your web presence, go to our website, springinsight.com, springinsight.com, and schedule some time for a consultation with us. And we'd love to hear more about the work that you're doing. Thank you.